Rorschach Joba from San Gervasi. This is the Rorschach, Georgia update from the 6th of March, 2025. Quick summary of what's going down in Georgia. Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service shared an article that is complete bullshit on their official website about the attempts of Brussels to pull back Georgia into the Western orbit and keep its influence in the South Caucasus. The article says that one way the EU is trying to achieve this is by paying pro-European demonstrators who have been demonstrating nonstop for over 100 days, paying them 120 euros a day. Somebody is a little freaked out at how long those protesters have been there and trying to come up with reasons for it. The intelligence service also alleges that the EU is pushing 4 major opposition parties who received a parliamentary mandate in last year's elections to unite against the Georgian Dream, or Kotzebue. Also mentioned that if the Georgian ruling party blocks the EU's financial channels, cash to support pro-European demonstrators will be smuggled from the EU's embassy in Armenia. Nobody believes them, of course. The interesting thing is that the FSB is now just giving the Kotzebue their talking points publicly rather than privately. Speaking of Georgia and Russia, on Friday the 28th, Russia's National Institute for Development of Communications released an annual ranking of 16 post-Soviet countries that are the most and least friendly to Russia. According to the list, the top 3 countries that are the most friendly towards Russia include the occupied regions of Georgia, South Ossetia, and Abkhazia. The remaining one is Belarus. Unsurprisingly, the unfriendly part of the list is occupied by the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, and of course, Ukraine. Moldova, whose breakaway territory Transnistria is a Russian satellite, is also on the list of unfriendly nations. Georgia ranked 11th on the list and was the only one with the status of a relatively friendly country, which it also received last year. However, the friendliness rating did increase slightly. Since we mentioned the Baltic states, on Monday the 3rd, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia banned 83 Georgian officials, including members of parliament, judges, prosecutors, and police officers, from entering the countries. Lithuania cited human rights violations, including wrongful arrest of journalist Mzia Amaklobeli, who went on a 38-day-long hunger strike. Latvia and Estonia followed suit, expanding their own blacklists. The Baltic states support pro-European Georgians who have been protesting for months against the government's actions. They accuse the ruling party of violating the Constitution, civil rights, and international commitments. Next up, on Monday the 3rd, the Venice Commission, an advisory body of the Council of Europe, issued an urgent opinion on Georgia's new protest laws. New laws ban covering faces during demonstrations, increase fines to unreasonable levels, extend administrative detention from 15 to 60 days, and prohibit indoor protests without the permission of the building's owner. Commission criticized the rushed process, lack of input outside the ruling party, vague legal language that grants excessive power to the authorities, warned that the harsh penalties could limit freedom of assembly, which is, of course, the precise intention of the law. The Commission urged the government to reconsider the laws, adjust punishment, and ensure legal clarity and protection against abuse. Without changes, the laws will violate international human standards and severely restrict basic freedoms, not to mention contradict the Georgian Constitution. Located in the central western region, the town of Chiatura, Georgian manganese, the city's main employer, partially halted operations several months ago, citing financial difficulties. However, it promised to pay all the affected workers 60% of their monthly wages until work resumed. Demonstrators say the company has not met this obligation and continues to extract and export manganese while leaving wages unpaid. Protesters are demanding that the government take over the mine's management, implement reforms, create a fund for children's development from mining revenues, and establish free local transportation. They also seek action on ecological issues linked to mining practices. If their demands are not met, the miners warn they will escalate their protests. There's been a new development in the case of the Azerbaijani journalist Afghan Sadygov, which we covered in previous episodes. On Friday the 28th, the European Court of Human Rights prohibited his extradition from Georgia to Azerbaijan while his case is pending in the court. Sadygov went to Georgia to flee prosecution from Azerbaijan. He's been in detention in Georgia since August 2024 at Azerbaijan's request. He was on hunger strike for 161 days to protest his persecution. Sadygov, known for his outspoken criticism of the Azerbaijani government, has been a target of political persecution due to his work. The Social Justice Center, which has been advocating for his release, argues that his extradition would put him at high risk of human rights violations in Azerbaijan, including torture, which is the real reason that the Azeri government want him in the first place. Following this ruling, Sadygov decided to end his hunger strike, though his health condition remains of concern. According to the newspaper The Economist, Georgia's democracy index worsened in 2024, scored 4.70 out of 10, ranking 94th, down from 89th place in 2023. Key components of the rating include electoral processes and pluralism, government functioning, political participation, political culture, and civil liberties. Georgia is among the countries with the most significant democratic decline, alongside Qatar, Kuwait, Tunisia, and Bangladesh. In contrast, Norway ranked number 1. The report highlights Russia's indirect influence on Georgia's politics, controversial laws such as the foreign agent law in the October parliamentary elections, which were filled with irregularities and protests, deepening tensions between the government and the opposition. Shifting gears, on Thursday, the 27th, the EU launched a new project called Resilient Engaged Active Civil Society for Transformation, or REACT, with a 2-year run and a budget of €1,500,000. The goal of the project is to strengthen local civil society across Georgia's regions, boost democratic governance, and get more people involved in decision-making. We'll also focus on making local organizations more sustainable, especially financially, and improve how they communicate with the public. REACT will work with 500 groups, 3,000 citizens, and 50 businesses, offering grants to support local initiatives, crowdfunding, and corporate social responsibility projects. An international journalistic investigation coordinated by the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, OCCRP, conducted by over 30 journalists, revealed an operation of a scam call center that was located just 500 meters or 1,600 feet away from Georgia's State Security Service building in Tbilisi. According to the report, a call center run by AK Group scammed at least $35 million from victims in Europe and Canada between 2022 and 2025. The company, led by 36-year-old Mary Shotadze and her associate Akaki Kevchishvili, managed a multilingual team of young Georgians who carried out investment scams worldwide. Employees called themselves scammers and flaunted luxury lifestyles in private conversations. Some of them earned over $20,000 a month, and their employers frequently held competitions for prizes like iPhones and BMWs. Poland has started deporting Georgian citizens as part of its crackdown on crime. Prime Minister Donald Tusk announced the move on Twitter, sharing a video of border police escorting illegal Georgian migrants onto a plane. On Wednesday the 5th, authorities deported 17 Georgians. Foreign Ministry spokesman Jacek Drabinski said that while Poland is a tolerant country, it won't tolerate crime, whether it's petty theft, drug-related offenses, or organized crime. The deported individuals, all men between 24 and 58, were arrested from different regions across Poland. Officials say these deportations will continue as they work to dismantle criminal networks. On a similar note, on Sunday the 2nd, a group of people attacked Misha Andruladze, famous Georgian comedian, in The Hague, the Netherlands, in front of a Georgian restaurant where he'd held an event. Rumors on Facebook suggest that the attack was due to Andruladze calling the Kotzebue supporters Russians, but he denies this, saying that it was a deliberate lie. He speculated that his previous jokes about religion might have been the real cause. He described the attack as premeditated, saying someone had ordered it and a video was taken as proof. Local police are investigating the case. Link of the video in the show notes. Closing up the show, relations between the government of Georgia and Ukraine remain tense. On Thursday, the 27th, Ukraine's Ministry of Sports decided to strip Kachi Kaladze, Tbilisi's mayor and general secretary of the Kotzebue, of his title Master of Sports of Ukraine. Kaladze played for Kyiv's Dynamo FC from 1998 to 2001. During his time there, he helped the team win the Ukrainian national championship 3 times before moving to Milan. He still owns 2 apartments in Kyiv, but is currently sanctioned by Ukraine. And that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't worry, subscribing to the Rorschach Georgia Update is free. By subscribing, you can help us grow and keep making these updates that you love. Listen for our updates on your favorite podcast platform. Na fandis.